Got a good woman with a Cadillac. When she goes out, she comes right back. She loves to love me all night and day. She's got a little job in the center of town. She comes right home when the sun goes down. Then we love the whole night away. We go out on a Saturday night, but we don't fuss, no, we don't fight. We have a little bite to eat and see a show. No sign of trouble that I can find. My roof don't leak and my truck's running fine. Life is pretty good, don't you know? Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. A woman looks good and she's pretty smart. I don't have to deal with no cheating heart. It's just the two of us and that's enough. I'm there for her and she's there for me. That's the way it's supposed to be. I know we'll make it through if things get tough. Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. I got a good job and I make good pay. My dog doesn't even try to run away. My in-laws love me, who could ask for more? My house is clean and the rent gets paid. The checks keep coming cause my song's getting played. Every day's better than the one that came before. No sign of trouble that I can see. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. I said things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. I said nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. Got a good woman with a Cadillac. When she goes out, she comes right back. She loves to love me all night and day. She's got a little job in the center of town. She comes right home when the sun goes down. Then we love the whole night away. We go out on a Saturday night, but we don't fuss, no, we don't fight. We have a little bite to eat and see a show. No sign of trouble that I can find. My roof don't leak and my truck's running fine. Life is pretty good, don't you know? Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. A woman looks good and she's pretty smart. I don't have to deal with no cheating heart. It's just the two of us and that's enough. I'm there for her and she's there for me. That's the way it's supposed to be. I know we'll make it through if things get tough. Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. I got a good job and I make good pay. My dog doesn't even try to run away. My in-laws love me, who could ask for more? My house is clean and the rent gets paid. The checks keep coming cause my song's getting play it. Every day's better than the one that came before. No sign of trouble that I can see. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, but it can't be a country song. I said things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, but it can't be a country song. I said nothing's going wrong, but it can't be a country song. Got a good woman with a Cadillac. When she goes out, she comes right back. She loves to love me all night and day. She's got a little job in the center of town. She comes right home when the sun goes down. Then we love the whole night away. We go out on a Saturday night, but we don't fuss, no, we don't fight. We have a little bite to eat and see a show. No sign of trouble that I can find. My roof don't leak and my truck's running fine. Life is pretty good, don't you know? Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. My woman looks good and she's pretty smart. I don't have to deal with no cheating heart. It's just the two of us and that's enough. I'm there for her and she's there for me. That's the way it's supposed to be. I know we'll make it through if things get tough. Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. That's fine with me, that's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. I got a good job and I make good pay. My dog doesn't even try to run away. My in-laws love me and who could ask for more? My house is clean and the rent gets paid. The checks keep coming cause my songs getting played. Every day's better than the one that came before. No sign of trouble that I can see. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, but this can't be a country song. I said things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, but this can't be a country song. I said nothing's going wrong, but this can't be a country song. Got a good woman with a Cadillac. When she goes out, she comes right back. She loves to love me all night and day. She's got a little job in the center of town. She comes right home when the sun goes down. Then we love the whole night away. We go out on a Saturday night, but we don't fuss, no, we don't fight. We have a little bite to eat and see a show. No sign of trouble that I can find. My roof don't leak and my truck's running fine. Life is pretty good, don't you know? Things are good and that's fine with me. That's the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's going wrong, so this can't be a country song. My woman looks good and she's pretty smart. I don't have to deal with no cheating heart. It's just the two of us and that's enough. I'm there for her and she's there for me. That's the way it's supposed to be. I know we'll make it through if things get tough.
Things get tough. Oh, ho, children.
Happy Thursday, children of the Lord.
Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. Oh, speaking of scary stuff, I don't know whether or not to show you this thing, because if you didn't see it, I don't want to piss anybody off.
What?
My occult thing.
You should play it.
Okay. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to say. That was it. Here it comes.
Steve made a nice little relaxing video.
I tried to, share some spiritual enlightenment with people, and
A Zen moment.
And I got crap for it.
From one person.
Yeah, so So I want to see if you find this
if everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong.
You know what? Wow, that's weird. It doesn't usually do that. But okay. Oh wait, no. All right, bear with me, children. Patience, children. Oh, here we go. Yes? Come on now. I did everything right. Children need to see this now. Okay. All right. Now wait. Let me zip.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this properly framed up for you.
Okay. This really works.
Really does work. So just play along with the video, and we're gonna have a little quiz at the end of it. Okay. Let me make sure that I have some volume here for you.
The sound.
I know I need this. Believe me, that's half of the experience.
I know.
I just have to find the freaking thing. Here it is. Okay. You ready for your Zen moment, kids? Because here it comes. I think. I hope.
Lori, I'm guessing you saw it. Sue said it was funny.
Okay.
Oh man.
I got some guy. All right. I had some guy.
He didn't even send it to the guy.
I didn't even send it to the guy. It's on my story or whatever it is on Facebook. Now, and I got to tell you something. There's a difference between our people and other people on Facebook. Some of them are OLD.
Yeah.
So I got this guy sending me messages back and forth. Hey, I heard this, I heard that. Yeah, big fan, blah, blah, blah. Nah, years in this. Okay, thanks. Hey, okay. Right? Then I don't hear from the guy for a month, 6 weeks.
The children are laughing. They liked it.
And this morning I get the thing attached to a message, and it says, grow up. Now, this guy, I don't even know this guy. And he's saying, I'm thinking you guys are all around my age, 62.
Yeah. Well, what he asked about Mark.
Yeah, he asked about Mark.
In October.
So he says, grow up. And my natural response, as you might guess, would be, why?
And he wrote that to Frank. Not our Frank. Frank.
And he says now, and this is why I played this for you. It's not to goof on anybody, but he says to me, his response to my query as to why was something to the effect of, you shouldn't mess around with the occult because it takes you further away from God.
Sue says he's a jerk.
Well, okay.
Just for telling you to grow up.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the occult.
The occult. Did you see anything that had to do with the occult? Angus got scared because he hates clowns. So I didn't see any clowns in the pool. And let me give you the inspiration for this little cinematic gem. The new iPhones, they have these incredible cameras. You can shoot in 4K and it's 60 frames a second slow motion. So I'm standing over that fountain and I'm filming it, and I'm done. I take it back. I cut it. I slow it down. It's amazing. And I cut it. And and I thought, maybe I'll do one of my peacefuls, here, enjoy this moment, blah, 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 blah. Because I subscribe to that. And I was going to do that. Then all of a sudden, that frickin' bad little kid showed up and said, and I said, yes. And you see,
he said to Mousy, and Mousy said, "You're going to get coal for Christmas."
I said, yeah, but I'll bet you shared it a bunch of times. And she went, oh, yeah. You know what, kids, if you can't have a little fun, I just thought that was whatever. So because I realized there are old people on Facebook.
Don't look at your story then.
Well.
Stick with your own kind. Anybody
we're doing West Side Story now?
You.
Anyway, the bottom line is, I took it down from Facebook because I don't want any old people like suing me because I scared them to death. My mother saw that thing, and
But he left it up on TikTok.
Yeah, so if you want to see it, I'm happy to share it with you. Or the truth is, you only have to get scared by it once, but you can use it an infinite amount of time.
Well, Gail said, "Send us his Facebook. The children of the lawn will respond." Sue says he needs to grow up. He needs to wake up.
Yeah, you know what? He just needs to
go away.
Yeah,
okay, we need to get on with our show, though.
Let's go on with the show. Okay, so we were going to have Alex Lubin, who is the keyboard player for Double Vision, but because I played them playing Foreigner, there's no sound on his video.
Facebook took it off.
On his episode. They muted the whole, which I don't understand at all. And so I was very disappointed about that because, Alex he was a lot of fun, and he had some real interesting insights to things.
They removed all the sound from him. We'll have to have him on again.
I bet it was Putin.
Alex is Russian. Okay, so tonight, instead of Alex Lubin, we're going to have Kenny Anderson. We're going to throw him back. And he's a sax player from Miami Sound Machine.
And you all know how much I love Miami. But first, I would be remiss, and this is the No Gloom Ballroom, and it is the holiday season. And I don't do gloom, guys. When I'm gone, roll one up, knock one back, and have a good time. Because feeling like shit isn't going to change anything. So we should show people how we feel about them when they're here.
That's right.
And don't worry about the display for the friends later, because
we're not doing that anyway.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that. But
we're not doing that.
But out of respect, Dino Danelli was my first live experience watching a monster drummer. And I took things from Dino my whole career. He inspired me and influenced me in many, many ways. And he was just as good as it gets. And he will be sorely missed, but he's on to another adventure, and we're happy for him because wherever he is, he's got a whole new career in front of him. So rockin' paradise, Dino. That's all the gloom you get here. That's all the gloom you get because it's time. Oh, is it time? No, it's not time for a commercial. It's time to throw back. You guys know I love, the whole Latin thing, and Miami Sound Machine, the original band, that Gloria Estefan, and
but we can't play any of that.
Yeah, so we can't play any of that. So
we can't play this guy.
So you just have to remember how good it is.
Right.
And Kenny plays with them, and he's got some good stories. So we're going to throw this one back with you and enjoy it. And we'll be right here if you have questions, answers, or...
And that new recipe I made last night, Trisha Yearwood's baked bean casserole, was delicious.
Now I know why Garth is fat.
It was delicious.
It was ridiculous. And Garth's not fat, is he?
No. No, he's
Well,
Okay,
if he
but
keeps
we're
eating
gonna
that,
run
he's
over.
going to be what?
We're gonna run over.
No, we're
because-
not. We're not running over anything. Here we go. And
Trying to tough it out.
Hey, nice hair.
Random.
Yeah, 007. So let's see. Oh, come in.
Hi.
And now he's connecting to audio. He's connecting. Got me?
Can he not hear you?
I don't know. Kenny, can you hear me? Was that too loud?
He's looking at his headphones.
You got me, Ken?
These headphones that I have on here.
Kenny? Are we plugged in? Oh, there's some. There we go. It's funny, man. That's funny. Everybody does the same thing in the same. I've been doing this show for over a year now, and everybody that has a technical problem freezes, and I can't tell whether my signal is frozen. And but here you go. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Pilot error.
It's always pilot error, believe me.
Yeah, I like your. What's that? The Millennium Falcon.
No. It's actually, you're not the first person to say that. It's the Coppola module on, I'll show it to you from the outside. Oh, what? It's the space.
Oh,
it's
wow.
the space station, the ISS. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate being asked.
Hey, man. Well, I'm glad that you're here. The whole thing of the show, and I'll tell you, I'm sure you remember when all of our gigs went away.
Oh, yeah.
And the darkness came. Right? Okay. So everybody starts doing stuff on live stream, interviewing their friends or doing magic tricks or playing Margaritaville. And I said, you know what, this is, I originally started out by saying this is a great way for me to connect with my friends that I haven't seen in decades, because everybody's always working. When do you run into, hey, there's Mitch Ryder, and oh wow, hey, so I wanted to try to recreate that with the show. So for the first, better part of a year, it was all guys that I knew or played with or whatever. And now it's morphed into this, if we were both playing the Garden and we were both in the green room at the same time, this is a conversation we'd have.
That's true.
So that's that's the whole thing of so it's a pleasure to have you here, man. I was just watching you play with Tom Jones, and first of all, to even get that gig, you got to be 5 stars to even walk on that stage.
I was so lucky to get that gig. It was a wonderful time. I was with him for 11 years.
Yeah, I saw that. And Lori and I, that's my wife and producer, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi, Lori.
Her camera's broken by her shoe.
Yeah.
I was saying about Tom Jones and Jen, and I'm holding myself back from some of the other stuff that you've done, but I was saying how Tom Jones is kind of an enigma. He's not really one of those crooner pop guys, right? I mean, he could play Vegas, but he's not Vegas. He's not really a mainstream rock guy, but he rocks. He could play the Garden. He could do, and he's kind of, he's like, I don't know. He's very individual. So playing with him, does that assessment line up for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tom was really good to me. It was wonderful working with him. But he'd always joke. I was telling somebody today that he could tell jokes and make them last like a really long time. He'd start this joke and then change the subject and come back, and then come back to it 10 minutes later. But on the point of the music, I believe that he's doing what he really wanted to do all along now, which is kind of like a bluesy gospel thing. I was, after the years getting to hang with him a bit on the road, I was really surprised at what an incredible musician that he is. I mean, he's like a real student. There was 2 things that he knew a shit ton about. I mean, it was like he knew all these old blues songs. I mean, like, you know, the blues, that was a big thing for him. And he would talk about it, but he could call out these artists, you know, that you'd never heard of, and he has recordings of them, you know, and I don't know where he got them. But the other thing that he knew a lot about and would keep you up till really early in the morning, hanging all night, is a history of American wars.
Wars.
Yeah, he knew the generals. He knew like all, you know, the battles, where they were located, what the dates, and he was fascinated by it.
That interesting. I had a friend who was that kind of. He was English, that kind of student of the American West. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
Watching a cowboy movie, and he'd tell you, "Oh, wrong gun." What the, you know?
Let me ask you this: have you noticed that British audiences, they really know all the Motown stuff and the pop stuff and funk stuff? They know the players, the band personnel. They know where they were from, where they bought the horn, you know, what they had for breakfast. It's amazing.
Well, I think that has to do, you know, as I do the show and as I talk to different people or reconnect with different people, and I've been doing the show, and obviously I've played, you know, all over the place, just like all of us. The one thing that I realize is how our music affected their music and how their music re-affected our music. It's like when you have a band like the Stones trying to sound like Howlin' Wolf, and they sound like the Stones, and then you come back to the States and you've got Black Crows or whatever. I'm at a loss for, you know what I mean? That's like,
absolutely.
Who's following who?
There's a bass player in Nashville. I lived in Nashville for about 10 years. And there was a bass player, Joe B. Malden, and he played with Buddy Holly in the Crickets.
Wow.
And he was still like very good friends with Paul McCartney. And he was telling me the story that that's the Crickets, you know, they were big fans of Buddy Holly. And stuff you don't know, right? But that's where they got the idea for their name, the Beatles, from the Crickets.
Oh,
wow!
Isn't that something?
yes.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Joe B. Malden. Everybody called him Joe B. He's passed away now, but yeah, he would always, you know, talk about the like, you know, those years traveling. You know, Elvis was on the road, and then, you know, well, I don't think Tom was with him, but you know what I'm saying. It was Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis. I almost said Jimmy Swaggart. Well, you know, they're cousins, Jimmy Swaggart and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Is that right?
It's true. Yeah, I learned a lot of shit in Nashville.
Yeah, I'll bet, man. There's a lot of shit to learn too.
He was married his cousin.
Yeah, his 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah, but anyhow, they'd pile into a couple of cars and just go from gig to gig. Johnny Cash was on that circuit. What's the town in Missouri that was like the big? You know what I'm talking about. Branson. Thank you. I knew it started with a B. They'd talk about taking trips up there, and you know they'd play their set and then drive and drink beer all the way to the next gig and just barely make it. But they were like, you know, they weren't bands in competition. They were bands playing on the same night, you know, the same circuit and stuff. And it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah, firsthand. I mean, you know, and it's interesting that you say that, because I was in England making a record, and I was given this. I don't know it's outtakes of Elvis 56, like all the take 62,
That's
shake,
so
rattle, and roll. But amazing, man. Like, I mean, and so. My friend had that because I guess he was at Graceland, and maybe Elvis gave it to him or somebody gave it to him. I don't know, but
exactly.
But that's the beautiful thing. And for all the people that watch this show, if I can do one thing is to let them know how cool what we do is, not for bragging, just because it's really fun, but what a good family it is and how much, interaction there is.
Right. What a good family it can be,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not always.
Well done. Well said.
Sometimes it's Throw Mama from the Train family, Remember that movie? Who's that, Billy Crystal?
No, that was Throw Mama from the
Billy
Train.
Crystal
John
and
Candy.
John Candy.
Yeah.
no, right. Anyway, but it's cool hearing those stories firsthand, and that was one of the great things about working with Tom too. Is he had a lot of those stories. One night, I love telling this story.
Oh, please, man, that's what we're about.
One night, Burt Bacharach came in to when we'd play, we'd always play at the Hollywood Theater, and we play. They had a green room that was built for Frank Sinatra, apparently, and. So anyway, Tom had all kind of guests come back there. I met Nicolas Cage one night, Catherine Zeta-Jones, the Aerosmith came in one night, the cast from The Sopranos.
Wow!
But on this one night I'm talking about, Mr. Burt Bacharach came in, and we were all just blown away because we'd always wanted to meet Burt, and so Tom and he started talking. And anyway, as things go, and everybody's having a few drinks and things loosen up, and Tom's like, "But tell the lads how we recorded What's New Pussycat." And Burt was like a really soft-spoken guy. So, long story short, because I'll ramble.
That's why we're here.
So the way that they recorded, that What's New Pussycat, the chord changes are pretty hard, and the piano sound, if you go back and listen to the original recording, the piano sounds very unique. So what they did was they collected 6 upright pianos from 6 different pubs around London, and they took them into the studio, and they hung one mic in the middle of all of them. They had 6 different guys playing the same part, and all the pianos were like a little bit out of tune from being in the club, in the pub, and so stuff you learn on the road, right?
Wow. So it's 6. It's 6 pianos.
6 pianos. Yep,
like
6.
A Neumann in the middle.
I don't know what mic they used, but I'm guessing it would be a Neumann.
Yeah.
And that was the 47 or what was the big tube one with the with
the big 34. 34.
Yeah, it's like about that long. Well,
Yeah.
And it's got the big
U87 is the one that you see everybody, but that old one I think is the U34. But
piano.
Anyhow, that was one cool thing about being with Tom. I'm sure you've met a ton of celebrities, in your days. When did you start on the road originally? I mean, what kicked you off?
What started me?
Yeah.
I can't ever remember not being in a band. I was lucky enough to grow up in a garden apartment complex, 2-story, and very communal, because a Central Park in the whole, not in the city, but in Westchester. And I grew up with 2 other musicians that I wound up playing with, forever. So how music started for me is in elementary school. The high school band came. My mother had me all pumped up because she said it was a great band, and the band leader, my mother's a musician as well, piano player. And so I went and saw this assembly in the auditorium. And the minute the guy started playing the snare drum and I heard what it sounded like in the room, I said to the girl next to me, who just reminded me of this the other day, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Right. So I always knew I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to play sax. Yeah,
that's amazing, but and that's, listen, we're not going to go solving the mysteries of the spiritual world, but
it depends on what you're smoking, I suppose,
Right. And
if it's really good, you never know what you might solve.
Well, that's the truth. And believe me, I remember when it was really good, and now it's even better. So
I'll bet you do. Yes.
But so we formed a band before the Beatles. It had to be 62 or 63 before, we were really exposed to the Beatles. and we called ourselves the Continentals, and we had an original song, the Continental theme, and we played Saints Go Marching In, and the band consisted of me, the drummer, with a snare drum and a hi-hat. My then go on to be bass player was playing accordion, and our then go on to be lighting director was playing trumpet. So quite a band.
His father was.
Yeah.
His father, Jan's father was a jazz sax player, and it just went from there. Then we started, it was the progression, but it was always rock. Although I love fusion and heavy fusion, time signatures and
I do too. It's fascinating. Yeah, fascinating to play.
And I was lucky enough to come up in a band called Rat Race Choir, where everybody in that band had those kind of chops. And after 25 years together, we knew, when it was like Weather Report, only different guys and different music, but meaning the chemistry and the unspoken twists and turns that we were able to do. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Very lucky to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to school after getting out of high school, but it was the same thing. In high school, put together my own band. And luckily, little town I grew up in, there was a couple of guys in the band that were really good players.
Where was that? Where?
In Dunedin. Dunedin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Angus said you were a Florida boy.
Yeah, I'd stand up, but I'm wearing me kilt. It's a Scottish town, but it's like a local, and it's very charming now. But there were some really talented people. There was a singer. We went to high school together. Laurie White. She just passed away a couple of years ago, but she had a Green Eyed Soul album and stuff. She was one of the people that came out in there. Another great piano player down in Miami, Hal Roland. There's there's other guys, but just
Tom Petty and his crew.
Yeah. A lot of rock.
That's right.
A lot of rock came out of down here, and that's it's interesting where everybody went with it too.
And the Allman Brothers were originally.
The Allman Brothers, exactly. Yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival, I think, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long list.
Of course,
and think about it. They moved up north and made room for us to come down here.
Well, how did you know you wanted to play sax? Well, who did you hear play sax?
It's a weird story. My grandfather was a preacher, and at one of the services, there was a saxophone player came in with his wife, Bob and Carol Champion, I think that's their names, and they were like a traveling like evangelist, I guess you'd say. He came and played sax. His wife was good looking, played the organ, and. Well, she was. Even as a kid.
Hey, listen, you got to have the package.
Even as a kid, I recognized him. So anyway, I saw him and I was just blown away. I thought that was so cool. Wow. He had a great sax sound. And then when I got into junior high school, I met my first teacher, John Lauder, who's also he lives up in Georgia now, but and he got me started on the right path. And then, so on and so on until I got through college. And then as soon as I got out of college, I went on the road with a band called Exposé.
Wait, whoa. Did you play at a place called World Stage?
Yes. Yes.
I was a partner.
He was.
They were the three girls, right?
Yeah, and Joy and Jeanette.
Yeah.
That's insane. That was the first act that we had on the stage when we opened.
Yeah, it's. I started with them in '89. It's our first year on the road.
Wow.
And, you would have played our place in '90.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I was with them. I was on the road there. I think I had one song on saxophone. The rest of it was like just little like percussive parts on my DVD. And then I had one sax solo. And
sometimes one is all you need, man.
Sometimes one is too many.
No. Let me tell you what. As a drummer, I grew up listening to Krupa and Buddy Rich go at it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your influences.
Wow, man. I mean, my influences. It's interesting because if I listen to myself play now, I would think that out of the choice between Krupa and Rich, I would sound more like a Rich guy because I'm kind of technical, but I was Gene Krupa all the way.
And
Yeah.
Dino Danelli.
And then Dino Danelli from the Rascals. And then I think Mitch Mitchell would have been next from Hendrix.
Right.
And of course, Bonham had, throwing a little Bonham, throwing a little Cobham, and
Right.
away we go.
Barrymore.
Yeah, and here's an interesting story for you. Barrymore Barlow replaced Clive Bunker and Jethro Tull. And I was a huge Jethro Tull fan. We played Jethro Tull, and it was, we loved that because it's kind of that proggy, almost orchestral at points.
Right.
And if you have a flute, you're halfway there. Woodwinds, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so I don't remember where I was even going with this. Jethro Tull.
Barrymore Barlow.
Barrymore Barlow. Sorry. So when Barry replaced Clive, and I saw Barrymore play, this is 70s, I just loved what he did. No one else approached a drum set like that. He was so very musical and rhythmic at the same time. A lot of dynamics, a lot of power, a lot of holy shit, and a lot of ooh, what was that? And
Right.
so he became. If I had to, if somebody said, who's your favorite drummer? That's the guy I'd pick. So years after that, I was asked to join John Entwistle's band. And he said to me the first day in rehearsal in England, he said, who's your favorite drummer? And I said, Barrymore Barlow. And he said, that's good. You just replaced him.
Yeah. Isn't it fun to imitate? Yeah, isn't it fun to imitate the guys that you work with? Because
Oh, yeah.
it sounds just like them,
Yeah. Now, listen.
Well, because you spend so much
Yeah,
time.
no, and you did a good Tom there. That was cool.
Well, I've heard him talk a couple times.
I'm guessing you have. Yeah, well, believe me.
You just got the job. No.
Yeah, John Entwistle was, he had his own way of kind of mumbling.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He was, yeah.
Did you go from Expose
Yeah.
right to Tom Jones?
No. I have my past is a checkered tale, a sordid tale.
Ooh,
We like that.
we like that.
Yeah. No, I went Expose. That tour ended, and I'd gotten married at the time, and then moved up to Cleveland, Ohio, and so I was looking for like the next thing to do, and I got a call from a buddy to do a gig in Venezuela. Ask me if I'd be willing to take this tour, and I was like, "Yeah, I've always wanted to travel to South America." And so I went down there. The guy's name is Elon Chester. He's a fantastic musician. He lived down in Miami for a while, but he's originally from Caracas. So we went down there and played this beautiful music, traveling all through Venezuela and South America, actually, all these really cool towns. That was a year that went on. So that tour ended, and I'm literally packing up and getting ready to check out of the hotel. And Gustavo Aranguren, the trumpet player, who's like the lead guy, said there's a 4-piece section, horn section, and he comes up to pick me up, and he's like, "Hey, this guy Franco De Vita, he's going to get ready to go back out on a big tour, and he wants to know if you want to play." And I said, "Yeah, I'll stay." So I just took my bags back in my hotel room and stayed there another year. Same deal, traveling all through South America, made a bunch of friends down there. Okay, so that ended, and I went back to Ohio, and then I was like, I have a friend, Steve Grove. He's goes by the smooth jazz name Huge Groove. He's on that smooth jazz circuit. Anyhow, he played with Tower on the right after Richard Elliott finished with that Power album. The next album they had come out was Monster on a Leash.
All right, he knows John Scarpula.
Yeah, you know Scarpula, right?
Yeah, John. Yeah, I met him like when they played in Cleveland. I had auditioned, when they came through Cleveland. Steve set me up to do the audition, and I was like so nervous. That was my dream gig. I wanted that so bad. Anyhow, I had a really good audition, and getting ready to go out to do a gig, and Michelle Zarin, their manager, called me and said, we got Brandon Fields. He's available. He just got back from, and I can understand he lives out in L.A. and Brandon's a monster.
Yeah,
So,
if you have history with a guy,
yeah.
it helps. Yeah.
So of course my dreams were shattered. I was just heartbroken. And like a week later, I got the call from Arturo Sandoval, the trumpet player.
Oh, yeah.
So I went out with him and did, that turned out to be like 4 years long. And so we're still on tour, not making a lot of bread because it's jazz tour, but went a lot of interesting places and stuff. And I got a call from George Costas, the musical director with Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine.
Oh, clear
And so they offered me the gig. Mike Scaglione, their current sax player, left to go out with Julio Iglesias for a lot of money, apparently. So yeah, of course, I told Arturo, I've got to take this. It's just, it's just too good. And
he knew you had to take it.
Yeah. So
let me tell you what, I am such a huge Tower of Power.
I wanted that so bad.
But I am also a major Miami Sound Machine fan.
Yeah, that was a big tour.
I saw, when did I make the film? 04, 03? When did we first come down here?
Here?
04. Okay, so it had to be 05. Were you playing with them at the Garden? Did you play that show at the Garden?
No, I finished with them in '99. I did play at the Garden in what was like maybe '98.
Yeah, I
know we were there
at that one show.
We were there. Yeah, we were there for like 2 nights or 3 nights, I think. That was a big deal. I remember they had bomb threats, and so I remember them walking the dogs. It's like looking for bombs. We thought we were in trouble, but for other reasons, not bombs. But anyhow, that's what they were looking for. Somebody had called in a bomb threat.
That's funny. I was on the road with Leslie West, and we were coming over the border from Canada into wherever it is over there, Washington, Oregon, and I had gotten a dog. My wife and I had not been married a few years. We decided we wanted to get a dog. She didn't want to be alone when I went out of town. So we got a dog, and I'm used to having this dog, and now he's gone. And I'm going all the way across Canada, and we finally come, and we pull the tour bus into, where they have the stainless steel tables. It's,
Sure.
And there's these dogs, right? And they're like all happy to see me, and they're wagging their tail. And Leslie says, "It's not good if they're happy to see you, Steve."
No, that's not good. That's not a good sign.
Dogs, man, they know I'm one of their people.
They really like me.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's true. They do like you.
Oh, they're nice. Yeah, I love them.
He's a dog person. I'm a dog person too.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we finished. The Gloria tour ended.
Whoa! Don't leave Gloria yet. No, please don't leave Gloria yet. Please, not yet.
How long?
Not yet.
Gloria?
How long?
It was about 7 years. I started in '94 and then went till 2000. We played the 2K 2000 show at the American Airlines Arena, which had just been built in Miami. And we're up there doing sound check that day, and they're still like trying to finish the building. And we've got like lug nuts and stuff or not lug nuts, but big screws and stuff like that dropping on stage, and we're wondering, when's a beam going to come down and crush one of us? But we made it through. Okay,
what was your favorite song to play with that band?
Well, there were two. The conga was always fun because everybody loved it. But there was another song called Mi Tierra, which means my home, my land, and the horn solo on that was so much fun to play. It's just a really good song, and the rhythm section was just so killing.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how much I love that band, and I love Tower of Power. But if I had the chance to play percussion in that band, I would take it. I mean, I'd love to be the drummer, obviously, because that's my first thing. But I would play just to hit the power when that and it's tight as can be.
Yeah, we had
unbelievable.
Yeah, we had drum set. That was Olden Burgos, and then we had two percussionists, George Lopez, not the actor. And then Edwin Bonilla. If you don't know Edwin, he's a monster.
I think I do know Edwin Bonilla.
Yeah, he's a killer. But so we had two percussionists and drums, and Edwin was so good at just laying down the time because I mean, it's so structured in the in percussion world. One guy's playing this, you've got to play this, and so
everybody's got their place. It's not unlike a horn section,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, not unlike a horn section, and I came up in my earliest days playing in the orchestra in school, so
West Side Story.
My favorite, one of my favorite records of all time is the soundtrack from West Side Story. That
his mother had it.
Yeah, it's I don't know, that tritone thing that they do in there, the Bernstein, and I actually saw Bernstein at Lincoln Center conduct. I was a little kid. I mean, I think it was about, it was still elementary school, maybe 6th grade, and we went down there, and it was amazing. So yeah,
wasn't it Bugs Bunny that they did a version of Leonard Bernstein, but they called him Leopold. You ever see the Bugs Bunny cartoon?
Yes.
Where he's conducting the orchestra.
Yeah, but man,
Leopold.
Leopold. I'm glad he's not hearing us.
One of the viewers said yes, so it must be.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. All right, so we can leave Gloria now. I mean, I don't know. There's always been a thing with me in the Latin rhythm.
Yeah, she was wonderful to work for too, and another thing that made that so nice is that. Most of the band, I mean, like 90% of the band was all buddies that I went to college with at University of Miami.
Oh, wow.
So we all had known each other for quite a while and were really good friends and, especially the horns. So,
cool.
Yeah, so that was a wonderful thing. We had fun.
I know. Believe me. I know what kind of fun you had. I had that fun too.
One of the best descriptions I've ever heard was from a banjo player in Nashville. He was talking about he'd got up in the middle of the night, to go to the bathroom or something, and there was some of the guys hovering over the table in the front of the bus. They were doing blow, and he said when they heard the door shut, he said everybody turned around and looked at him like that. He said it looked like a tree full of owls.
I've seen those owls.
A tree.
I know those owls.
Yeah. It's the funniest description I've ever heard.
I get that all the way to the bank, man. I do. Now I have another video. We take a quick break before I ask you the questions. Do you want to set this one up for me? This is from Montreux, I think.
That's with Arturo.
Oh,
yeah. So that's Arturo Sandoval. I mean, he's another monster.
I know. Believe me.
Yeah, I was with Arturo for 4 years. So this is the Montreux Jazz Festival, and this a great version of the band. It's Otmaro Luis on keyboards, another like monster. Eggy Castillo on percussion. He's teaching up at Berkeley in Boston, and then that's Aron Surfati. Otmaro and Aron were friends of mine from Caracas. I met them when I was touring down there. So it was really cool that they ended up in Arturo's band. And then Dave Enos, LA guy, bass player. I think I got everybody. And that's it. And this version of the band, I have to say, we had a Zoom meeting with Arturo. The band, I mean, we haven't seen each other since we toured. I mean, not like that, but we get together, did a Zoom meeting. And I have to say, of all the bands I've ever played with, this was probably the most intuitive group of musicians I've ever worked with. Arturo took some of these tempos like just so unbelievably fast that, if anybody would have blinked or just, had a hiccup or a spasm or something, I mean, it was on the teetering on the verge of just like it would have been just a train wreck, unrecoverable.
Wow.
And Arturo would throw like little like left turns and stuff like here and there, and man, we followed him. I'm really proud of that band.
Yeah, as it should be, man. I mean, that's like I liken it to a flock of birds that turn and they never touch wings, but somehow they know.
That's a perfect analogy.
And that's what I believe me. I used that analogy in a song because it's really what it's like. When I used to play with, I was in a couple of playing situations where it was like that, and you just knew where it was going to go. But it must have been really exciting to do that with a big band, because that's, I did it with a 4-piece, and then I did it in another 4-piece, but it was really the bass and drums that were going at it. And there's nothing like that intuition, that blind risk. That's what I live for.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was a wonderful time. And it was so great to see them on that Zoom meeting. And Arturo joined us, and we laughed a lot. Still, it's like not a day has passed since we've been playing together. It was really cool.
That's great, man.
Has he played trumpet on this that we're going to watch?
Well, Arturo Sandoval played trumpet.
Yeah. But
the only horns were me and Arturo and I.
That's a hell of a date for the night, man. Wow.
Are you kidding? That's the hardest gig I've ever had.
Oh man, but that's when it's great for me. I mean, I'm chewing nails to get there.
But here's how it worked. When Tower, said we're going to go with Brandon Fields, and I was like crushed. A week later, I got the call from Arturo and see how things work. They work out the way that they're supposed to work out, I guess.
Exactly. They always do, man. And the sooner you can figure that out and live by it, the easier life is.
That's right.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to play this track, and I will meet you back here when it is over.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay.
Kenny Anderson, laying it down.
1 sax.
Oh my goodness, that was freaking awesome!
Wow.
One thing about Arturo is like he would like not let you stop. He'd get going and he'd turn around and play, Chico, play.
Well, now I have 2 very bizarre questions for you.
You're amazing.
Yeah, man.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
Well, you gotta know.
Wow. You blow, dude.
Yeah, man. That's. I'd like to throw down with you sometime, but we'll talk about that in a minute. When you do that solo, right? That, let's just say you do that solo, that you have that space every night. Is it the same solo every night, or you?
No. That was just a surprise. I guess Arturo waved piano out because Otmaro was playing piano. Otmaro's like just a
wow. Michelle Camilo, thank you.
Yeah, he's my favorite. But Arturo must have waved them out, and then just all of a sudden it's me and drums. And Arturo knew that I liked playing that. So that was a one-off right there.
That's what they see.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. There's such great memories from that band.
What choices you were making, bro. I mean, you got to 2 pinnacles in there that I didn't think you could get past one of those, and you got there twice. Believe me, I was listening, man. That was bravo.
That's right up your alley.
And
thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Believe me, thank you. Man, now here's my other question, because I've had John, Scarpula on.
John's one. He's a monster, man. I love his playing, and he's such a cool guy. Last time I saw him was in New York with the Funk Philharmonic. And
that's who he. Yeah.
Yeah, some little bar. They were just killing it. Tom Bowes was singing, and Chris Carlick, I think, was playing baritone. I don't know all the guys in the band, but a couple of those guys I do.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've had sax players on. We had the guy that was in Jocko's solo band on the other night, and Mark Rivera's been on, and Scarpula, and yourself.
Yeah.
And
Chris Benzio.
Right, Chris, the guy from the Uptown Horns. Chris Benzio.
all guys that I've played with over the years, not Scarpula, but I played with the Uptown Horns, and man, there's nothing, no amps, no nothing, just timing and wind.
And
Yeah.
feel.
And
Feel.
yeah, and a bag of feel, man.
Yeah.
Big bag of feel. But let me ask you this. You knew you wanted to play sax. What is the first thing, and I'm serious, what's the first thing that they teach you? What is I want to play sax, I'm here with my saxophone. What's the first thing that you learn?
How to get a sound out of the reed. Blowing into that mouthpiece, it's not as easy when you've never done it before to get the reed just to vibrate. Your natural tendency is just to either blow too lightly or really pinch down and close up the reed so no air is going through. The reed has to. What makes the sound is that the reed's vibrating. It's hitting the mouthpiece like that. So.
Wow.
So it's kind of like when we used to take a blade of grass and blow across it and make the sound.
That's an oboe.
No, I was talking about the air.
I know.
Good one though. That's all right, man.
I'll be here all week.
Yeah, right. Try the veal.
Try the veal.
That's.
I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing.
Excuse me. I got to get my rim shot in there, right?
Wow.
That was a little late.
No wonder all the greats wanted you.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's man.
Yeah.
So before I ask you the questions.
Oh dear.
The questions are easy.
They're easy compared to what you just did.
Yeah, man. The questions are nothing compared to that. And I'm glad to know that you improv that, because I never did two drum solos alike ever in my life. And I like to think I get paid by the note. So, you know.
Sure.
And that's great. I love that, because there are the guys that they write their bit and that's what they do and they execute it every night. And that's just, that's no fun for me, man. I want to be on the high wire.
So
High and wired.
Yeah.
Are you back in Florida? Are you in Ohio? Where?
Oh no, I'm in Florida. I've been back in Clearwater. I left Nashville about 4 years ago, so I'm back in Clearwater now. And
so wow.
And when you were in Miami, did you run across Jocko?
Yeah,
I did. Actually, yeah, he would come into school. It was during some, he was having some tough times then. But he would come into clubs and stuff and want to play. But he would show up at school, every once in a while. And I talked to him a couple times. He was really, really nice when he was straight. I saw him. I used to work at a club in Fort Lauderdale called Penguins. It was while I was in school. It was 84 to 88, and it was like. Kind of, I guess the best way to describe it is like kind of yuppie jazz. That was the era then. There was like Al Jarreau,
yacht rock.
Al Jarreau, Michael Franks, Spyro Gyra, and then other stuff. Kenny Loggins was coming out then and had a bunch of songs, and there were Michael Sambella. There was some really good music that came out of the era. Anyhow, so the young professionals are coming into this club, and the band is a really good band. And plus, I get to, I'm at school too, so I'm getting like great music experiences on both sides. But one night, the night that Jocko had that incident, he came into the bar, and I actually I bought him a beer. I was like, "Hey, Jocko!" I recognized him right away, and he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I like a beer, your beer." So I was dating the bartender, so she was like, "Yeah." We didn't really think much about it, but the manager of the restaurant, he came running over and he's like, "No, I don't want to drink it here." And so kind of escorted him out, but. I have other friends from Sound Machine that they would see him regularly. One of the trumpet players lived right down the street from Jocko, and so he kind of came up we saw his family growing up, his son and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to see him. Pat Metheny came through once in a while.
Yeah.
Maynard Ferguson would show up once in a while. That let's see who John Schofield
Oh,
would show up.
Schofield.
Yeah, the Breckers. Michael and Randy Brecker.
I've been to 7th Avenue South more than once. So I know the Breckers.
Yeah, so there were quite a few guys, but Weather Report. See, there was Bob Mitzer. We saw that there was a band in Miami called the Atlantean Driftwood Band, and Peter Graves, a bass trombonist, but he's also a big name contractor. I could go on and on about this. I'm trying to condense it. Peter had a band called the Atlantean Driftwood Band, and a lot of those guys were faculty from Miami. But Jocko would play with that band, and some of the guys at Weather Report, and anyway, you'd see them at the Musicians Exchange. It's not there. I don't think it's there anymore. But I was lucky enough to be in that era where we could go and see them. And Wayne Shorter. I mean, it's so close. You
Wayne
can almost,
Shorter, man.
Yeah, you could almost touch them.
Yeah, man. Marcus, right? I mean, Marcus was around that. That was his time. Marcus Miller, and man, believe me.
Yeah,
those are the cats.
Yeah,
those are the cats of the day.
So,
man, listen, I could do this forever. Believe me. And so there's a couple of things. Did Angus tell you about Free for All Fridays?
He did not.
Okay, Free for All Friday is every Friday, same time, 7 to 8.
Okay.
If you feel like dropping by and telling a joke or asking a question or seeing who's in the room, sometimes there's 5, 10, 11 guys in there, and it's, you never know who's going to show up. Mm-hmm. So I'll have Angus will put you on his notice. It's the same key to get in there that it is to get in here. Oh, wait a minute. Whoops. Sorry. Didn't mean that.
All right.
Sounds like an Irish pub.
Kenny Anderson.
Speaking of Irish pub, we went to the insurance place today, for just to sign up for shit, and this. What did she say? What was the word? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
And we're watching City on a Hill, which is Boston, and everybody talks like that, And the minute Lori hears it, oh my God, she was, oh, are you from Boston?
Well, because I hear it every night. I hear that accent
and she says, and the girl says, South Boston, and I said, Southie?
We're learning all
like
this
which is the
lingo
freaking
now,
ghetto, not,
Yeah, she would know that Southie.
Southie. So then we started telling her about the show.
And she got all excited.
Yeah, she gave us like free surgery and stuff. It was, no, it was. I said, "Have you ever heard of Revere?" And she said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Well, that's in the show." And I think I'm about to use a foul word, so if you're, I like to warn people. One of the best lines I've ever heard in my life is from that show, where the first season, the reporter is talking to the female detective. She's grilling her on all these questions, and the female detective goes, "Oh, look at the time. It's fuck you o'clock."
Fuck you o'clock.
I mean, that's my favorite time now.
Yeah. It's a great show.
It is a great show. It's funny.
Yeah, we're already.
Well, it's not funny because people die and there's drugs, but it's.
I mean, come on.
What?
They die and there's drugs. I mean.
It could be the music business.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
Breaking Bad.
That's a different kind of business.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a lot of money in that white powder.
All right,
So what?
Tomorrow night.
Free for All Friday.
Free for All Friday. Now remember, Booker said he can't make it
Yeah,
this
Booker's
week.
not gonna. So we're gonna need. I don't know. I'll keep adding ornaments to the ship, and I can't wait to see Mousy. Oh. What? Clear your mind.
Relax your body and concentrate only on what you are seeing and hearing.
Oh no, the occult.
When that guy wrote that to me today, I felt like I used to feel when I was in trouble at school. I felt like,
What did I do?
what did I do? What did I do?
But you
And there's
continue
a
to do it.
radioactivity leak in here. What?
You continue to do it.
Well, of course I continue to do it. That's who I am.
That's who said best vocal. Okay, Steve. She liked your vocal. All right, so
Mine?
if
Oh, if I don't, well, yeah, because, Garth's in the other room waiting for me. If I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
good night, everybody.
Take care, kids.